Good morning and happy November 2nd. It's actually like 2 p.m., but whatever. Today I wanted to talk to you about something I'm feeling very strongly about these days. And that is my right to vote. Now, I am 19 years old. I am a registered voter and have been, I'm not, like a year and a half. I'm just trying to remember when exactly. I don't know. It was last summer. My roommate is not a registered voter. That drives me crazy, but whatever. I did it at the DMV when I was getting an enhanced license. If anybody is not registered out there, it's super easy. It took about 30 seconds. The actual license part took longer. So, there's that. But I am registered in Rochester, New York, which is where I'm from. It's where my family lives. It's where I grew up. It's where I was living at the time of registration. But I go to school in Niagara Falls at Niagara University, which is part of Niagara County, which is about an hour and a half away from my house. So, and in my county, I do not qualify for an absentee ballot before anybody starts throwing that out there. Because in my county, which this is complete, I don't like this rule, but whatever, you have to either be on an extended vacation, it's, I think, specifically outside of the country, and then you have to either be living outside the country, like you have an address outside the country, but you also have an address within the county. And then you have to either, or you're in the military, or you are very, very ill and cannot leave your house. Like, maybe not, like, say you're in, like, you have cancer or something, and it's probably not a good idea for you to go out there into the world. Where, like, hospital patients could probably get an absentee. I'm not really sure the specifications on the illness variation. But I do know that college students aren't included in that, which is bull, but whatever. I have checked this multiple times in the last year and a half, because I wanted to vote last year. I especially wanted to vote, ignore my blanket, vote this year with the midterms, and it's being the biggest election probably in my lifetime. I know 2016 might have been more important. No, it wasn't. Let's be real here. I really wanted to vote this year. I was considering skipping a day of classes to drive home and back to vote. As a broke college student who cannot afford the gas, I had to get it through my head that didn't make sense. So I just wanted to say, like, me and Catherine were talking about this last night, and she said something that I've been feeling for a while, but I've never had the nerve to put into words. So she said last night, it was very late, we had all of our fairy lights on, we were just, like, laying around talking, and she was like, do you feel like you're, like, having your right to vote taken away from you because you chose to go better yourself and the country by getting an education? And I'm like, I actually do. Thank you for saying that. So I chose to leave my county and hometown to go to college, which I feel like most people do these days. I know a lot of the people I went to high school with stayed in the general Rochester area, but that is because there are many options for where to go to school around there. And a lot of people came up here to the general Buffalo area because there are even more options of where to go to school up here. So there's a lot of people that I graduated with who I know are registered to vote because it was like for people who were 18 by graduation, they actually made them register for something for a class. So a decent portion of my high school was registered by the time they graduated, which was amazing. I unfortunately didn't turn 18 until July, so that's when I registered. But I'm trying to figure out how to word this. They will not have the opportunity to vote unless a lot of them go to the University of Buffalo. So, I don't know, they could carpool. But unless they all are driving home to vote, the majority of my graduating class will not have the opportunity to vote this year. Let that sink in. 99% of the, like, as far as, based on the people I've talked to, 99% of the people I know don't vote because they can't make it to a polling station and they don't qualify for absentee. Okay, so sorry, the fish was very, very still, very top of the water for a few minutes. I'm like, what are you doing there, dude? So the 99% of people I know have told me that they will not be voting because they cannot make it to a poll station. Of course, there's her who has not registered, and like, you need to. I'm sorry, but you need to. And then there's like a few people I know who are from the area and who actually can make it to a polling station. But a severe majority of the people in, like, okay, wording. I tried typing up what I wanted to say, like I did for my opening up about my mental health video, but I just couldn't find the right words, and I figured it would come out more naturally if I didn't. Okay, so you know how they say people from ages like 18 to 24 are the lowest percentage of people who vote? That's because we can't get to a fucking polling station. Like, 18 to 22, you're in college. You could go literally anywhere in the world for that. I guess if you left the country, you could get an absentee ballot. But okay, so I'm only an hour and a half away from school. I have the option, not really, but it's kind of an option to just drive home, vote, and come back. But I know people who go to school in Maine and Ohio and California and Arizona, and they all graduated high school with me. So, like, they lived in they're registered in the same county as I am, and they will not be able to, like, they don't have the option to come home and vote and go back to school. It's actually crazy. So I just want to put, like, throw a little shade to say that they're, like, about the whole, all the statistics that are saying, like, we don't care, and, like, we don't get to complain about politics if we don't get out and vote. I'm like, I'm just putting it as a real life college kid who wants nothing more than to vote on Tuesday. I can't, because I can't afford the gas, and because my county sucks when it comes to absentee ballots. So there's so fucking many people won't be able to vote for the person they want to represent them in Congress, and then because of this stupid rule, and then people are gonna be like, oh, they don't care, or oh, they're just so lazy they couldn't get out of bed. I'm like, for starters, I have like 5 papers due in between now and finals, which by the way are 40 days away. And that also, like, 1, I'm busy. 2, I don't have the ability to just go back to Rochester, vote, and come back. It's absurd. Like, you are telling the people who have the most stuff to do and, like, the least ability to get to somewhere where they could vote, and you're telling them they don't care and that they're lazy because they aren't turning out. I'm like, okay, well, can't, because somebody decided to take away students' rights to vote by making it very, very complicated to even try and get an absentee. Like, I can only talk about specifically Monroe County, New York. Like, I don't know if it's different for people who reside in Buffalo or Niagara County or anything like that. I don't know the specifics for that. I can tell you about Monroe County's absentee ballot rule. I can also tell you that there's a lot of people who don't know absentee ballots exist because they are not adequately publicized or like marketed. Yeah, you have to market for people to vote, unfortunately. But like telling people who actually care the most about this election, because we are the ones under attack on a daily basis, by the way, that they don't care because they don't come out and vote, and they can't try and change anything with, like, the only way to change it is by casting a vote, which, by the way, it's a, yeah, it worked, yeah, that makes sense, but, like, you were telling people who cannot vote for various reasons that the only way to vote, to make a change is to vote, and that if they don't vote, they could care less. That is absurd. That is my rant. If you have the ability to vote, if you are home and you're registered, I don't care if it takes 3 hours because the people are actually caring this year, go vote. Just, if you have the chance, fucking vote, because I'd love to. Every bone in my body is screaming at me to drive home and stay there until like Wednesday, because I don't really have much going on Monday as far as I know, and then I only have 1 class on Tuesdays, but driving home for like a 20-minute thing doesn't make sense in my head. But everything in me is telling me I have to drive home and vote, but I can't, and I know that. So if you have the ability to go vote, do it, please. And if you're not registered and you're 18 or older, get registered. Yes, it is too late, unfortunately, to get registered and be able to vote for this election, but registered in general. But yeah, I really, really hope that this is getting the point across. I'm not sure that it is, but I need it to be, unfortunately, because that's the world we live in, that 18 to 24-year-olds are made out to be lazy people who don't care when they are actually just prioritizing school, which they are paying for, over driving long distances or getting on planes or whatever. And they are also made out to be very, very lazy, and when they're not given the option to vote at all. So have a nice day. Vote. Get your voices heard. Vote them out. Have a good day.